this developing story that we do have to bring you this morning. And we say it with great sympathy because there is a great tragedy that took place in the skies just outside of Washington, D.C. last night. A military helicopter colliding with an American Airlines jet near Reagan National Airport this morning. The search and rescue operations continue in the icy Potomac River, where both aircrafts plunged after that crash. So far, no survivors have been located. At least 67 people on boards of both those aircrafts collectively. Some members of the U.S. figure skating team believed to be among the victims. And we are all praying for a miracle at this point. Eamon is at the scene on the Potomac River. Eamon, walk us through what happened and where things stand right now.
Andrew, the first emergency call was 8:48 p.m. last night. Investigators were on the scene, search and rescue on the scene 10 minutes after that. We're now getting daylight here just on the scene, getting our first live look in the daylight of the crash scene. And I can tell you that Park Police helicopters are now circling overhead. They seem to be orbiting that site on the far side of the Potomac River across from where we are standing in Alexandria, Virginia. That'll be the D.C. side of the river where search and rescue efforts are focused right now. Tragedy deepening this morning as our NBC affiliate here in Washington, D.C. is reporting multiple sources to them saying that officials have recovered more than 30 bodies from the site of the wreckage here. So the death toll here is tragic and
that is very bad. That is a horrible, horrible, horrible news to get up to and wake up to and to be aware of. I just got some updates sent to me specifically. Said no survivors found after the plane carrying 64, it wasn't 67, it was 64, collides with a Black Hawk helicopter near D.C. This was updated literally a couple minutes ago. No survivors are expected to be found after a midair collision involving an American Airlines regional jet flying from Wichita, Kansas, and a military helicopter near Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport. Rescue crews have recovered over 30 bodies from the plane and one from the helicopter. The confirmed deaths make the Wednesday's collision the most fatal aviation disaster on U.S. soil in 24 years. The collision occurred moments before the jet was set to land, sending both aircraft into the Potomac River. And here's what to know. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser led a briefing on the crash and said, "We share a profound sense of grief," as she confirmed lives were lost. The flight was 5342 Bombardier CR7 or CRJ 700, had 60 passengers and 4 crew, all right, on board. The 3 troops on board of the helicopter, the Sikorsky H-60, were conducting a training flight. The fuselage of the jet was found in 3 sections in waist-deep water. Among the jet's passengers were U.S. figure skaters, coaches, relatives returning from a training camp. Russian media said 2 former world champions, a married couple, were on board, and the search crews continue in freezing temperatures and extremely rough conditions. So, yeah, man, it's a tragedy. It's absolutely bad. Prayers up for the family. I never want to see this type of stuff happen. Let me go to another piece of coverage where they're basically breaking down the flight patterns of what happened prior to the collision.
So we'll have several updates today. I'm first going to turn to the Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy, and then you will hear directly from Chief John Donnelly with a situational update.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, Sean Duffy here, Secretary of Transportation. We wish we were gathering for different purposes today. I just want to let you know that the Department of Transportation, the FAA, along with the White House, President Trump, local, state, and federal partners all working together on this incident in unison. I couldn't be prouder of this team that's been assembled, working tirelessly. Mayor, I want to thank you specifically for your work. A few details I'd like to give all of you, and some of you reported this, but last night, if you live in the D.C. area, you would know that this was a clear night last night. The helicopter was in a standard pattern If you live in the D.C. area, you'll see helicopters up and down the river. This flight pattern is seen oftentimes when you live in D.C. This was a standard flight pattern last night as well. The American airline flight coming into land was in a standard flight pattern as it was coming into DCA. So this was not unusual with a military aircraft flying the river and aircraft landing at DCA.
Well, we know where the liability is.
You'll see that frequently with those two aircraft working together. As many of you reported, we have located the two aircrafts. The fuselage of the American airline plane was inverted. It's been located in 3 different sections. It's in about waist deep water, so that recovery is going to go on.
Similar to what I was just telling you guys from the latest updates that I got. It sounds like all of the liability is going to come from air traffic control, which we all know that it's going to be some lawsuits, but more importantly, the lives lost is a tragedy. It's an absolute tragedy. It's something that we never want to hear.
Today, as that recovery takes place of the fuselage of the aircraft, NTSB is going to start to analyze that aircraft, partner with the FAA with all of the information we have to get the best results possible for the American people. I would just say that safety is our expectation. Everyone who flies in American skies expects that we fly safely, that when you depart an airport, you get to your destination. That didn't happen last night.
Yeah, man. So we all know where the liability is going to come from air traffic control, probably. There's going to be some settlements, some lawsuits. Thank God that we got a president that's not asleep at the wheel, but it seems like he's everywhere all at the same time and doing his job. And again, prayers up for the family. I think that every time that you take off and every time that you land, it's a blessing. We take it for granted. I don't think that this is anything that anybody has to be concerned about, because you're much more likely to get into an accident and lose your life, which we pray against that also, in a car accident than you are on an airplane crashing into a military helicopter, right? So it doesn't seem to be anything amiss as far as it being a Denzel Washington type of flight. However, it looks like there's some miscommunication somewhere, especially with regard to air traffic control. This happened overnight, something that I woke up to, and it was all flooding my inbox, and I was getting messages, and I was even getting messages from people that I know in D.C. that was asking me to speak on it and cover it. And it's something that we'll be talking about during the Millionaire Morning Show, so make sure you tap into that. But again, prayers up for the family. I hope that everything is well. I'll keep you guys updated throughout the day. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Pray for your friends and family. Live every day like it's your last. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.